husbands are forcing their wives to do wrong things in their marital affairs just because they are addicted to watching all the wrong stuff on the internet. They're experimenting, they want experimentations. I've met some boys whose Quran teachers have beaten them when they were studying Quran, and it forced them to turn away from Islam and Quran. They are, without telling them in a proper way, in a wise way, in a loving way, in a caring way, in a way that will convince them, that will make them strong believers, they're pushing their Islam on them. And there are many who just don't want to follow Islam anymore. I was talking to him and he said that there are Muslim kids who have turned away from Islam. They become atheists. I've come to Australia many times, multiple number of times, and mashallah, what I see, which is a good thing. I see that, people are so much into, this is a law, this is an Australian law, this is NSW's law, right? So this is what happened, I cannot go against the law, you cannot take a left on a red light because, because it says no turn on red. You cannot take a U-turn from here because they're all black, they're all solid lines here. You have to go there, get into a driveway and stuff like that. All of you, mashallah, are following the Australian law, which is a good thing, we must. But what about the law of Allah and His Messenger? How come that we are so much strict on following the Australian law? I repeat, that is a good thing that you're doing it. But what about the law of Allah and His Messenger? Why are we lenient in following that? We need to ask ourselves this question as well. Allah and His Messenger come first. If we have to prioritize this and this and this and this and this, and we have to give it numbers, so the number one is the law of Allah and His Messenger. Our cultures come first, the other laws come first, but the law of Allah and His Messenger is somewhere down in that priority list. And we call ourselves Muslims. What is Islam? Islam is submission, absolute submission. Sami'na wa ata'na. This is Islam. We heard and we obeyed. I'm not even thinking. I'm not even asking why and why not. Islam is not that we are thinking that, why and why not. Islam is about sami'na wa ata'na. The last few ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah. Lillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. Wa in tubdu ma fi anfusikum aw tukhfuhu yuhasibkum bihillah. To Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and in the earth. And if you hide something in your heart or reveal it, Allah will take account of you. آمَنَ الرَّسُولُ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ رَبِّهِ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. That the messenger and the believers, all of them believe in Allah, or believe in whatever Allah has revealed. كُلٌّ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَكُتُبِهِ وَرُسُلِهِ. All of them believe in Allah and the last day and the angels and the messengers. لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّن رُسُلِهِ. We do not differentiate between any messenger. We believe in all of them. It's not that we believe in him and we don't believe in him. We believe in all of them. لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا. All of them, the messenger says it and all the believers say that we heard and we obeyed. غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. O our Rabb, we seek forgiveness from you and to you is our return. This is Quran, this is submission, this is Islam. سمعنا وأطعنا. We are not thinking, we are not refuting, we are not having any doubts. This is for our benefit. Allah has given us these laws and these principles for our benefit. And we should all make a list as to what are those things that I'm not doing according to the laws of Allah and His Messenger. And there is a huge list, isn't it? What Shaykh was saying, honestly, if the men are not coming for Fajr prayer to the masjid, that is part of that list. That is part of that list. Prophet ﷺ was rahmatul lil alameen. How merciful was he to everybody? وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We should know this. Allah is saying to the Prophet, I've not sent you except as a mercy for all the worlds. He was so merciful, forgiving, loving, caring. You read his seerah. We don't even know our Prophet. We've not made any effort to know about who our Prophet is. He said one day that I'm thinking, I have a thought that when the iqamah is said in the masjid, I go out with few young people and I burn the houses of every person. I burn all the houses in which there are males and they have not come to the masjid to pray in congregation. I have a thought. I wish Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine that how much did the Prophet want that every male comes to the masjid to pray in the masjid? Sheikh mentioned a few virtues and fadail, and I was thinking about another. Prophet ﷺ said, whoever prays Isha in Jama'ah and Fajr in Jama'ah, he will get the reward as he prayed all night. Allahu Akbar. What a virtue. We should make an effort to come for Fajr as well, just like you have come for Isha, mashallah. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that we should make a list as to what are we doing wrong. In the times of social media, the biggest problem that we all have, not only these young boys and girls, all have is watching that immodest and vulgarity on the phones. What a huge sin. What a huge sin. قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ. Allah Ta'ala is ordering men and women separately. Tell these believing men and women, lower their gaze. Don't look at anything that's lustful. And guard their private parts. Hukam of Allah in the Quran. And there is an open disobedience. Nobody is caring. Hardly there is anybody who really controls their gaze and do not look at anything that's wrong. The way that is polluting our hearts, a'udhu billah. People often come, I don't feel like praying. I don't feel any khushu' in the prayers. I'm not into my prayers. I don't feel any focus. Well, if we are watching all of that wrong, how can we stand up in the prayers and have that depth in our prayers? It doesn't work like that. What else? We are shouting, screaming, to people, not being respectful to our spouses. We are shouting at our kids, possibly. And I was talking to Sheikh. He teaches in a university here, as people know. I was talking to him and he said that there are Muslim kids who have turned away from Islam. They become atheists. And there are many, by the way. And there are many reasons for that. One reason is, of course, what I spoke about yesterday, that parents are not giving time to their kids. I was in the Islamic school of Canberra today, and the principal, mashallah, an amazing man, Dr. Aid, he was telling that we are trying our best to train these kids, but parents do not cooperate. And parents think that the teachers have the whole responsibility of training our kids and they don't give any time to the kids at home. He was complaining. So one problem is that the parents don't give time. Children are turning into atheism. But number two is because of the way that the parents interact with these children, and I spoke about it a little bit yesterday. They are, without telling them in a proper way, in a wise way, in a loving way, in a caring way, in a way that will convince them, that will make them strong believers, they're pushing their Islam on them. And there are many who just don't want to follow Islam anymore. That's what he was telling me, because he spoke to a few of them, and this is what they have sort of told him. And this is true. I've met some boys whose Quran teachers have beaten them when they were studying Quran, and it forced them to turn away from Islam and Quran. I know it cannot happen here just because of Australian laws, but what about, I repeat, where are the laws of Allah and the Messenger? Because Allah's laws and His Messenger's laws are you cannot do that to a kid. But it comes down to a law of a land. We have to follow because we fear going to the jail. But what about the punishment that may come in this dunya and of course in the akhirah as well? What about that? That means, do we doubt? Have we such weak faith that we fear jail, but we don't fear the punishment of Allah? So the way that we are dealing with our children, with our spouses, disrespecting them and not caring for them, not providing for them. The men are not providing for their women. Allah's order is, men, you are the caretakers of women. Allah's order. Allah Ta'ala says that the men have one rank over women because they spend from their wealth and they spend it on their families. I see almost everybody, of course it's an exaggeration, but I think more than 70-80% where men are forcing their women to go out and earn because they have to live a certain lifestyle. It's putting that black dot on our hearts, friends. People are, as I said, people are watching, of course, wrong thing on their phones. Husbands are forcing their wives to do wrong things in their marital affairs just because they are addicted to watching all the wrong stuff on the internet. They're experimenting. They want experimentations. I don't want to be explicit here because there are kids sitting here as well. But mashallah, you are intelligent, the adults. Prophet ﷺ said, whoever goes to his wife in a wrong way, he has disbelieved in what Allah has sent down to His Messenger. He has disbelieved. Don't don't fear Allah at all. Seriously. Do we forget our grave? That day will come when the angel will take our soul away. And there are only two places. Inna kitab al-fujjari lafi sijjeen. Wama adraka ma sijjeen. Kitabun marqoom. Wailun yawma idhil lil mukazzibeen. And inna kitab al-abrari lafi illiyin. Wama adraka ma illiyun. Kitabun marqoom. Yashhaduhu al-muqarrabun. We don't read these ayat. There are two places. One is illiyin, one is sijjeen. Sijjin in Arabic is prison. So that's like a prison until the day of judgment if people do not act on the way Allah and His Messenger has told us. Don't we fear Allah at all? Shaykh recited in the second rak'ah of Isha, the end verses of Surah An-Nazi'at, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى وَآثَرَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا فَإِنَّ الْجَحِيمَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. Quran, Allah's words, that who transgresses and he prefers the life of this dunya. He prefers the life of his dunya, and he forgets the commands of Allah and His Messenger, does whatever he feels like doing in this dunya. فَإِنَّ الْجَحِيمَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. Hellfire is his final abode. Quran, I'm not saying it. It's not my fatwa or anything. It's Allah's fatwa. And on the other side, whoever fears standing in front of his Rabb, he is thinking, I'm going to die. I'm going to meet my Rabb. I'm going to meet Allah. I'm going to stand in front of Him. I cannot do this because I fear that what will happen on that day when I'll stand in front of his Rabb. وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. And as a result of that, he controlled his desires. He stopped his desires. He stops his nafs from the desires that are out of bound. Allah Ta'ala says, فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَىٰ. Paradise is his abode, his final abode. You choose. Quran. You choose. You want to prefer the life of the dunya and enjoy, you only live once, enjoy. Or, I control myself and get to know what Allah and His Messenger has said, and I try to follow that even if it's hard on my nafs. Paradise is his abode. Quran says paradise is his final destination. We choose. Friends, we choose. This is serious stuff. This is not a joke.